So I want to do a segment on a Jeep CJ7. Hey Jake, Jeep CJ7 heater and the heater upgrade, the blower motor upgrade. And I had a hard time finding any good information on. I found plenty of articles on the blower upgrade, but I didn't find any videos. So I want to walk you through this process as I do it. And what I've done so far is I've got the heater out of the Jeep and washed the plastic part down, and I painted it, and I'll show you the paint I used. It didn't come out great, but it looks a lot better than it did. And painted the back metal plate, the cable, the metal cable connectors, and I've got the blower motor, and I've got the new heater core and new cables. And I also have to, and I'll show you this in a second, but I gotta, you have to enlarge the hole that the blower motor goes through in your firewall. And I don't know that there's an easy way to do that. I bought a 3.5-inch hole saw, and I'm going to try to do it that way. We'll see how it turns out. So let me show you some of the parts I got. This is what the old blower motor looks like. I'm going to reuse the fan blade there. What are you doing, Jake? That's a blower motor, buddy. Nothing to eat. No, you can't eat it. Here's what the new blower motor looks like. Obviously very similar, but it's a lot bigger. And let me see if I can show you just how much bigger it is. Jake, get back. So this thing, showing this right about 3, I don't know why it's like that, but call it 3.5, and that's what it should measure. And then the old blower motor, you can see the difference in the size. So here you got probably right at a little over 2.5 inches. So you have to enlarge the hole on your firewall to accommodate the larger motor. And the way I'm going to do that is with a 3.5-inch hole saw that I picked up at Ace Hardware today, and I got the drill bit for it as well. So this thing fits, looks like it's going to be a perfect fit. We'll see how that goes. This new blower motor is part number PM102 VDO. Now my understanding is you can go to the auto parts store and ask for a blower motor, a heater blower motor out of a 1973 Blazer with air conditioning. Apparently that's the PM102. Got my new, that's a Amex ADA heater core, and I got some new cables there, and I got a new duct that goes to my defrost, new defrost black channels at the very top of the, right at the base of the windshield. And then here's the actual box. So you can see I've cleaned that up, painted it, and I use this Rust-Oleum paint for plastic. May not have prepped my surfaces as well as I should have because it didn't turn out great, but it looks 10 times better than it did. And it is a heater, and it is a Jeep, so I'm not looking for perfection. There's a seal right there, right above the blower motor, and this one's in pretty bad shape, and I couldn't find this thing anywhere, so I had some of this adhesive foam. It's about 1/4 of an inch thick, so it's probably a little thicker than the stock material, and it sticks on. So I'm going to use this. I cut it out, just traced it, just made a simple pattern and just traced it. Okay, so I had read this in the customer reviews on the heater core, but I got mine to line in. I had to adjust the pipes a little bit, but if you can see that screw, if I screw that in all the way, it's going to go right into the heater core. This side's pretty close. This side's not even close at all. So if I screw that in, this side's definitely going into the heater core, so you're going to puncture your brand new heater core. So that's definitely a flawed design there. And I guess what I'm going to have to do is try to drill a hole in that sheet metal that's kind of overhanging there, and try to angle that screw out so it doesn't hit. I'm only using 1/2-inch screws, and I think here I got plenty of clearance there if I go towards the back. And then on this side, hopefully the same thing. So I'm going to work on that, and when I read the reviews, I was like, okay, I guess I'll deal with that when it happens, and yep, now I'm dealing with it. So I'll show you guys how I fix it. Okay, so you can see the original hole there, and I just had to move the screw back a little bit. These are 1/2-inch screws, and it's still pretty close, but it's not touching it at all. And on this side, pretty close as well, but not touching it either. So if you're installing a new heater core in your Jeep, and it's the Omix ADA heater core, you get to pay 70 bucks for it, and then drill new holes so you don't puncture it. Okay, so here's the heater ready to go back into the Jeep. So I want to walk you through all the cables on this thing, because I just couldn't find a lot of good information out there. I found one chart on a Jeep forum, and that really helped me out. But while I'm doing this, I figured I'd go ahead and explain all these. So this, you got one cable that goes here, and it operates this lever here. And you can see what happens when it does. I don't know if you can see that. Anyways, there's a flap right here. And if you got it in this position, the heat's going to come out and come down to the floor. Have it in this position, it's going to go up into this duct here that goes up to your defrost. Then you got another cable that mounts right there, and mounts to this right there, that stud, that post. And then you've got an internal cable here that goes in and controls a flapper inside. Now when you pull this out, I don't know if I can do it one-handed, but you pull that out, it moves that flapper, and that controls the amount of heat you get. So that's your temperature cable right there. The other cable that you have actually attaches to another bracket up here in the Jeep, and then you've got another cable that comes down and attaches to this right here. So it's going to go in there and attach to this, and this simply controls your air, your fresh air. Now let me flip this thing over, that a little bit better. Okay, on the bottom, got my new blower motor installed. Got my switch right there, and I had to kind of make a seal for it out of some foam that I had. You've got this, which is your drain tube. You've got your 1, 2, 3, 4 mounting brackets, and you've got your heater core sticking out, and I ordered that. That's a pretty standard part. Alright, so there's the hole in the firewall for the blower motor. And what I've done is gotten a piece of scrap steel, and I got some self-tapping screws and screwed it in. And then I came inside the Jeep and drilled a hole in the center of it. And that is going to be the guide for my hole saw, which is right there. So let's see how this works. Alright, there it is. Don't touch that. I just picked it up. It's really hot. And that actually worked really well. Pretty simple. Alright. See if I can get this blower motor in and put this heater in.